Down at the 35, it'll be second down. From the 35, here's second down and 8. Minshew sets to throw. Short throw caught by Bowers. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Looking to throw it, Minshew. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't. But he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
It'll be Minshew again. Touchdown Raiders. Jacoby Myers, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Raiders take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
That one came up just a little bit short. I'm wondering, is he still a little bit tight as this game starts? What would you say? Maybe he's got to take the governor off of it?
Or maybe the donut off the baseball bat like the guys
like
on that circle?
I like that. Yeah, just take that little extra weight off of him. And start.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Divine Diablo. And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really, it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
White is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. White fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. They'll run. This is White. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. Zamir White taking it in from 2 yards out. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
Well, they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
And oh, it's no good. For the 2nd time now in this first half, he's missed an extra point. 12-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Carlson now to kick this one away. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Throw over the middle. He finds Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. To throw is Goff. Being chased out left. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit. We decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
And this one too low.
That was not a real confident throw right there. And he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big third down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Here's Goff. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Here we go on 4th. Goff. Yet again, Goff is intercepted. Picked off by Robert Spillane. And they finally put an end to this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Now Minshew. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Jack Campbell with a pick. And the Lions will take over here just shy of the 30. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half, because that's simply not true. But you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
In motion goes Patrick. After the interception, here's Goff. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. First down, here's White. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Here's Minshew. Flushed out right. And he'll just get rid of it.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. They're going to look to throw.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Kirby Joseph.
And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Now the extra point try forthcoming. And this is back to a 5-point game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. He'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun is Minshew. Flush to his right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth. Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. This is fielded at the 7. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Goff.
That's complete to Laporta.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
From the gun, Minshew to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down.
Now third down and very long.
They'll set up to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it, and that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
On fourth down, Minshew. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Goff.
He'll let this go deep for St. Brown.
And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception.
Picked off by Nate Hobbs.
And now off to the races, down the right side.
Down the right sideline.
And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score.
Well, Charles, just some visibly frustrated players and coaches on that sideline right now because those halftime adjustments didn't work. The turnover problems continuing here in the second half, and the defense now sitting pretty comfortably as a result of that pick six.
Hey, that's a great observation too, Brandon, because they did make adjustments at halftime. But how about this other group staying a step ahead despite whatever happened in that other locker room? No surprise they're leading, and it's appropriate that those defenders got to add to the lead directly.
And he takes it all the way across the 40 before going out of bounds.
It's the third quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard, and while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The slot man in motion right.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2.
Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Going up the gut, Montgomery.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Down the sideline he goes.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown.
David Montgomery,
37 yards.
and the Lions are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the third. So there you go. They needed a big play, and they got one there on the touchdown run.
And that was a very important drive. Of course, they all are when you're trailing in the second half. But what I really liked, they didn't panic. They knew they still had time to run the football and keep playing their game.
Goff and that Lions offense staying on the field. They'll try for two. They'll try and throw for it. Here's a diving catch right side. I guess the coach looked at the two-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a three-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a two-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. The drive starts with a run by White, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's White. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Back to throw here. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
77 yards on the ground so far for Montgomery. It's a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 10-yard line.
Super!
Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Goff now looking to throw. Touchdown! David Montgomery. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Lions have taken a 4th quarter lead. Well, we know he has decent hands out of the backfield. That's the first time, Charles, they've targeted him in the passing game, and it pays dividends.
And I love the design, too, because they kept him in the backfield, made the defense think run first before they swung him out of there. And you're right, with his hands, they might want to throw it to him just a little bit more.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter. Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Looking to throw. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. Boy, every time I see speed like that off the edge, Charles, I just don't know how these offensive linemen do it. I would think that they would get called for holding every play, and maybe they should have been called for holding on that one.
Yeah, maybe not just holding, but sometimes you end up setting back in the offensive backfield a little bit farther to try and help you with the edge. That's a penalty as well. Sometimes you overset, they'll come inside of you. That's what speed does. It disrupts an offense. And right now, you've got to pay attention to this edge rusher on every single down.
Well, the defense circling now, 4th down and 7. Minshew.
Eluding the pressure right.
He gets this to Myers.
And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
The sound reverberating here in the dome. This is 3rd down. Here's Minshew.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game.
Gotta avoid the flags defensively. Here's 4th and long. Now Minshew.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And the Lions have just about sewn up this football game.
When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that, because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away.
2nd and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Montgomery on the counter. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour and something that you noticed along the way. Just about every camp we visited, when the defense got together, everyone was doing ball drills. Defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary, because they understood how vital it was to take the football away. And they wanted every opportunity. When the ball was knocked free, they want all those guys to be familiar with touching the ball so they could pick up the fumble.